Thank you, everyone. We're really excited about our Data Speaks. Today, we will be tackling a series of subjects that I am certain we are all excited to hear about Gen AI and why it is important to master your data. As they say, everything is ready for AI except your data. The power of partnerships, Paradigm's power of three strategy, and most importantly, Informatica's IDMC platform. Today, we have a wonderful set of speakers, outstanding cast of speakers. We have Jason Tolbert, Senior Director of Microsoft Ecosystem at Informatica, Arvind Murali, Chief Data Officer from Paradigm Technology, Deepak Rameswarapu, Senior Director of Data Management at Paradigm Technology, and yours truly, Jorge Diaz, JD, Strategic Alliance Manager for Paradigm. So we are really all excited to be here. It is a wonderful, really excited about this Data Speaks. I'm sure you are as well. So with that, let's go ahead and kick it off. All right, guys, let's start off with some general questions here. So we start the conversation with Gen AI, which I'm sure that's what everybody's here to listen to. So what are the themes and trends that we are seeing in the market? So let's start off with you, Arvind.
Sounds great, JD. Thank you. And again, welcome everybody. Thank you for attending our webinar today. Look, let's take a moment to identify these trillion-dollar companies. Apple, Meta, Microsoft, Amazon, NVIDIA. They all have one thing in common. Every single one of those companies are basically creating consumer technology using Gen AI, right? That's how this revolution started, if you will. Now, for me, the way I'm seeing this, I see four trends. Number one, this idea of something called a work buddy. So Walmart just launched a work buddy called My Assistant for all of their store clerks, fueled by Gen AI. What this essentially means is Gen AI is now going to become your best friend at work, giving you the insights and the information you need upon demand, right? The second big trend that I see is something called multimodal AI. I'm pretty sure some of you here might know about it. Multimodal is the ability for you to process structured, unstructured, semi-structured data, voice, video, image, any kind of data. It uses it to its advantage, right? ChatGPT is a very popular multimodal AI. But what that leads into is this monetization play. So these Gen AI device or platforms allow you to create data and AI products. And then you can train them with your own enterprise data. And essentially, that becomes your value proposition, which you can then monetize. A good example is BNY Mellon, in coexistence with their platform, servicing a number of individual and corporate consumers, right? Last but not the least is the ethical side of AI. So to me, topics such as cybersecurity, transparency, traceability, those are very important topics to be had. And I'm pretty sure Jason knows all about it. But at the end of the day, right, the ability for us to be transparent in showing the usage of data is going to be extremely critical for large-scale adoption of Gen AI. So those are the trends that I see in the market, JD.
Oh, awesome. Deepak, anything you want to add on to that?
Yeah, so on the broad stroke, Gen AI is on top of the mind. Anyone from even elementary school to the CEO, CDO, everyone, right? Now, the trends we see in the broad stroke is that, look, adding to what Arvind says, adoption of AI and machine learning in the mainstream, right? Whether it is to innovate, most of it is to innovate the experiences for the customer or to improve the operational efficiencies. The other thing is while we look at the artificial learning, there is the data security, underlying data security, and the privacy, right? Growing volume of the data really means that there is a very, very heightened need for higher security to comply with regulations. Now, when we talk about the data, now public cloud, right? Organizations are still using the public cloud. It gives the ability to choose the right model, choose the right algorithm, choose the right RAG to ground your data. And with all this, there is the data and analytics, the rise of the data and analytics, whether it is showing the visualization or now even asking the visualization, asking the question to give you the visualization you want to need, right? And all of this is still leading and continue to lead the digital transformation, where I say it is all about what can we do, what can we do for the customer? What is the experience we can elevate? What are the pain points we can solve with all of the manual processes? So overall trends are actually, it's data driven. It is going to underscore more and more why good data is required for AI initiatives.
That's great. That's great. That's well put also, Deepak. Jason, I'd love to hear your take on this.
Oh, actually, and thank you very much for the chance to speak with you here. In my experience and what I'm seeing, everything we've heard is true. The thing that I would add on to it is, do we trust the data itself? Turn over to whatever, I don't know if you still read a newspaper, if you're reading any online blogs, whatever news stories you're looking at, right? You can't go 2 days without seeing some story about some model that got tricked or was being used, and it came up with an answer that was racist, sexist, argumentative, right? And this is all great for shock headlines. But when you think about your business data, something which is going to be, which can be so incorrect and so poorly trained in the public sphere, can also be poorly trained in your own sphere. And then, of course, you've got the question of the data I'm using. Is it from the public sphere? Is it from my sphere? Where did it come from? These questions about how stable is the source that we're using to generate our AI is going to continue to be more and more of an issue as people stop moving from the "is an AI cool" phase and into the how do we actually do things with this, which more and more companies are starting to do. So trusted data for trusted AI, huge theme that I'm seeing over in our world here over at Informatica.
Right. And following up that train of thought, Jason, are there any specific industries that you can think of that are evolving faster than others in this space?
I'm the first person to get that question, so I get to cop out. No, everybody is doing this. Generative AI is not a financial services industry problem. It's not an insurance problem. It's not a healthcare problem. It's not a manufacturer. Anybody who is in the business where they have competition, where they have customers that want to be satisfied, they are in the AI business today, whether they want to be or not. And so the thing that everybody's doing right now, as far as what I can see, is they're trying to figure out what are those first use cases we can go after. This is not a question of do we not, it's where do we start? And that's where a lot of consultants are being brought in. That's where a lot of the ecosystems, that's where a lot of the companies like mine, data management, are being brought in to give our viewpoints so that customers can figure out how do we down select to find the first couple of use cases to be successful with. But if you're listening to this and you've got a heartbeat and you work for a company, you're in the AI business.
That's a great way to put it there. Arvind, your thoughts?
Hey man, that's an unfair follow-up there. So I'll try to top Jason if I can. All right. Look, I think as Jason said, everybody, whether you like it or not, everybody needs AI. It's not going anywhere. But I think how it's going to evolve, going from which industries need AI to how can I be the early entrant to capture a space in my industry that nobody else had, that Gen AI or general AI could be accelerating my growth. So now it's about capturing new segments, new markets, creating new products. So how do I generate more revenue, right? I think that's the question you want to ask. It's no longer about, I am healthcare, I'm governed by hundreds of thousands of regulatory compliances. Yes, you are. Don't get me wrong. BFSI is one of the fastest adopters of AI. And one knows very well that they are the most secure and the compliant as it relates to rules, right? So I think the conversation has to shift from, I'm in this domain, do I need Gen AI, to, hey, what are the opportunities that I can think of that I can use data-driven AI that I can be the first entrant into?
Right. And Deepak, you got the short end of the stick here. So last but not least, why don't you tell
Yeah,
us?
I fully agree with both Jason and Arvind, right? To add, every industry really needs AI. So some of the things in the verticals we're seeing is, let's say, healthcare. There's the EMR, there is so much of telemedicine, there is the data analytics in life and sciences. So there's so many things where AI can be used, and AI is being used at this point as we speak to, get more of get more of the data. whether it is BFS, right? Whether it's banking, whether it's mobile experience, whether it is blockchain, whether it's robo advisors. We've seen a lot of trends which is towards the digitalization. But again, can we mitigate using the risk? Can we mitigate the risks using AI? Can I combat the fraud? Yes, absolutely. These are the cases in BI, in finance and banking, that the AI is even, it's used today, as we know. Retail, right? In the retail structure, you will see that, look, inventory management, whether it is looking at supplier management, whether it is looking at personalizing the market, e-commerce platforms, everywhere now there are so many touch points where there are manual processes. All of those are really automated by using AI technologies. Even in the manufacturing, if you look at it, whether it's a digital twin, whether it is data and analytics and machine learning algorithms to actually take us from reactive to predictive analysis or prescriptive analytics, that's the case we're seeing. Telecommunications also, right? So there's so many industries, every vertical. I couldn't agree with both my panelists, Arvind and Jason. AI is being used. I mean, it's not at a prototyping anymore. It is actually mainstream used.
Right, right. And Deepak, any concerns on the evolution there?
Yeah, of course. So with AI, like I said, there are the considerations like data and security. There are the considerations of ethical use of AI. There is the considerations of how well the data is, right? Whether it's hallucinating data, whether it's going to actually give the right data, the right answers, or it's all about what the model is trained on, right? If the model is trained on a data which is looks certain way, is going to answer certain way. That's pretty much it, right? So the part which we have to think about is data privacy, security, ethical, AI. Everything is based on the data itself. Then you have the more higher problems, which is upskilling the workforce, right? With AI comes with the technology which workforce needs to actually upskill and try to understand what business problem and how it's going to help. AI is mostly there to assist jobs to be done more efficiently, rather than, at least we strongly believe that it is not there to displace jobs. And we have to, the greatest trend is, if you have information is the power, right? If you will have a competitive edge, if you are using AI with the right data, with the right procedures, with the right guardrails, that's when I think that's the trend which I think, JD, that's the trend, and those are some of the considerations I think which are very key.
Yeah, well put. Jason, what about from Informatica standpoint? What are your thoughts?
I agree with everything that Deepak said there. Where I tend to pivot from a data management side of the house really is we take a look at who's actually moving forward with their AI projects. There's tons of AI projects that are getting started. It's very easy to get started, right? The question is, how many of those actually go from an idea kicking around on a napkin to actually going into production? And in our experiences from some of these surveys that we've been doing, 4 out of 5, 8 out of 10, 16 out of 20, however you want to do the multiple, 80% of these things don't actually move from the POC stage over to full-blown production. And it's everything, right? There's the question of, okay, here's our result. Do we trust the result? I don't know. Where's that? What data is it working from? Is the model any good? If the model is good, what data is it using? Is that data any good? Who's touching that data? Who has access to that data? Is it public? Is it monitored? These are questions that slow things down. And then as people start to pry at that, they realize, oh, well, great. We are looking at data that's coming from one division out of 40 inside of our company, and we're using that to generate an idea which is going to move, which we want to move us forward, right? As a company, that doesn't work. So actually making sure that there's high fidelity, not good fidelity, high fidelity of that data, high sets of trust, that we've got the right set of data coming from with the right monitoring, the right quality control driving us forward. That's the key thing that we're seeing right now as people try to move from a cool idea to picking which ones actually go into production.
Got it. And Arvind, from a CDO standpoint, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, not only what amazes me, JD, is all the questions that we've talked about so far. The three of us are not only in the same page, but we're also using the same words, which is astonishing. So that tells you that these are the same problems that we're hearing, right? So I talk to CDOs almost on an every other day basis. And I think CDOs who are really serious about making AI, Gen AI into production, their biggest concern is data. So simply put, right usage of the data, right people that are using the data for the right reasons, with the right permission, with the right auditability. So this is what a chief data officer is looking for, because they want full transparency and auditability in every AI project that they build. One of the biggest reasons AI doesn't go to production and it's a science project is because what we thought it could do and the inability to feed it the right kind of data makes it either biased or ineffective. That is one of the primary reasons. You don't feed it the right data. And even that word, the right data, carries a lot of context, right? So when you look at a positioning of a catalog, a data catalog, it's an extremely critical moment in time where metadata becomes the new oil. And man, they've beaten that word, data is the new oil, AI is the new oil, to death. So I'm going to use that same analogy, but at the end of the day, right, good data leads to good AI, and good AI leads to phenomenal impact in your organization. That's the way, I hear out there.
I like how we're all in the same train of thought. So definitely, yeah, I see the convergence here very well. So Arvind, I know you have a bunch of questions here for Jason. So why don't you take it away?
Thank you, JD. So Jason, there are some really exciting news. I mean, Fabric was over last week. I hear that Informatica has a lot of exciting news, but before we go into the actual products, let's talk about, from your perspective, you're talking to executives every day. Where do you see the strategy and framework of Informatica's enterprise data management solutions globally leveraging the Microsoft Fabric framework, if you will? How do you see the intersection of the two massive platforms?
Hey, thank you very much, Arvind. I appreciate the ask. My job here at Informatica, I am 100% dedicated to watching over our relationship with Microsoft. And when I talk about that, I don't mean I make sure that we go to every webinar that they have, right? I'm overseeing weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, quarterly cadences between our various engineering groups, between our marketing organizations, between our account teams, to make sure that we are creating differentiated experiences which help our customers to have extraordinary outcomes as they're working with our two platforms, right? The reason why we do this is simple. Microsoft has an outstanding analytics and AI platform. It's it was good. All of the excitement that is there as they've been bringing Fabric to market and giving a new injection of this whole SaaS data analytics platform combined with the power of Azure OpenAI is phenomenal. What we do and why we partner with them, and quite frankly, why they partner with us, is we offer the industry-leading and the only data management platform. I'm not going to help you figure out what your analytics are, but I am going to help you figure out what data you should be using and make sure that you can trust it. Which is why what our single Azure SaaS platform does, we cover all of those critical capabilities that can slow down or halt or undermine your enterprise data analytics and AI methods. We bring together discovery. We bring together ingestion. We bring together data quality and cleansing and profiling and and observability, security, AI-driven tagging, master data management, and enterprise cloud data governance, giving you that detailed lineage every step of the way, augmented by quality. And we bring it together on one platform, which is consumption-driven, and allows our customers to have this faith that, oh, what is being built here is being built with an eye towards the Microsoft platform. And as we bring the two together, I can trust that it's going to work. That's the beauty of it, and that's why if you were at Ignite last November, you saw during Scott's keynote, Scott Guthrie's keynote, you saw that slide, Informatica plus Microsoft. Actually, it was Microsoft plus Informatica, if you want to read it from left to right, but it was right there, front and center, because we are deeply, deeply committed to driving extraordinary outcomes for our customers.
That is
Yeah.
fantastic. So y'all become the data management engine, if you will, and then Microsoft with their power of data storage, compute, analytics, kind of y'all work together in giving that end-to-end data picture for a chief data officer alike.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Fantastic.
That's it.
So
Jason,
you
I think,
mentioned,
yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
Jason, I think this is a great thing, right? If we don't have, say, one platform, we have options to either use one technology for ingestion, one technology for discovery, and maybe a lot of hand coding to do some of the heavy lifting of, and maybe burn a lot of FinOps cycles in the process. So I think what you just mentioned is really helping. You're taking away the heavy lifting of the integration, and the way you explained this, you have an integrated platform which can do everything end to end.
Absolutely, absolutely. And thank you, Deepak. And yes, with almost 300 connectors to different source systems that everybody wants to use this, and tying that into and making that the source of how the data management gets controlled, it really helps our customers meet our customers' data management needs wherever they are, and then drive all that goodness into Azure for those analytics and for that AI.
Sweet.
And with that said, Jason, just a curious question. What do you see? And Deepak mentioned FinOps, so I'm just going to go down that path. How do you see this being a big advantage to your customers, the power of Informatica and Microsoft working together? Where do you see the economies of scale?
You know, there's a couple of areas where that really comes to pop, right? First off, there is this understanding that because of the attention that my engineering teams are playing together with Microsoft's engineering teams, we are working constantly to make sure that customers who are investing in our two platforms see these roadmaps come more and more together, not bifurcate apart, which means that your risk of implementation goes down over time. You're not investing in something which you're going to have to go remediate in 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 36 months, right? And then on top of that, because we have that fidelity there, there's also the ability to more rapidly adapt to your market needs. I mentioned that, you know, our data platform, right? It's called IDMC, the Intelligent Data Management Cloud. And this cloud, which offers market-leading services, right? Go to Forrester, go to Gartner. You will see that for data quality, for data integration, for master data management, we are I have to say, one of the market leaders. Yet we keep showing up in that top right button. We're one of the leaders, in each of these spaces, right? And it's all available on one cloud, which means that for a customer that brings us in, if you're using us for ingestion and discovery today, but you decide that you want to do a POC around data quality, you want to start going back and fixing, profiling your data to find out where is the data skewing apart, how is it getting bifurcated apart, how is it getting disrupted so that we're not getting true, good, consolidated analytics. You can go ahead and just spin up a POC. Just go do it. You don't have to go through an RFP process. You don't have to go through steering committees. Just try it out. And then if it's working, then you can go forward and you can figure out how you're going to get that done. Right? So reduce costs, reduce risk, and then best of all, if you're one of the many customers that has an Azure commitment with Microsoft, all of Informatica's Azure SaaS solutions are transactable through the Azure Marketplace, which means that not only can you buy it from us, but you can count it towards your spend commit to help get those great discounts from Microsoft with what you're doing and keeping everybody engaged. So those are just a few of the benefits that customers are getting from a business perspective as we're working together.
And operation standpoint as well. This is absolutely fantastic. And, congratulations on not just the native ISV piece, but also to your point, they can work with one company in Microsoft and they can be operationally extremely effective. So that's a big leap forward. Congratulations, Jason.
Oh, thank you.
You mentioned IDMC. I'm going to dig into this word called intelligent. So we talked about this work buddy concept. Claire GPT, man, what a game changer. I saw this in the CKO a couple of months ago. Jesus Christ. But please help us, enlighten us. When do we get our hands into this?
So I will tell you what I can tell you, and I won't tell you what I can't, but I will drive you to some places that you may want to look, right? So the cool thing here at Informatica is that we didn't just get on the AI train here in the last 12 months. I mean, it's now cool to be AI, but we all know that it's been a concern for customers for a while. And actually, we got on board back in 2017, if I'm remembering this correctly. And that's when we started with our first iteration of Claire. And Claire, C-L-A-I-R-E, is our engine for driving intelligence into our data management platform. And so over time, we've gotten better and better at helping to prompt, helping to guide, helping to get more intelligent responses from our data management platform for our customers that are using IDMC. What we announced last year at Informatica World, which would have been back in last May, is we announced that, hey, Claire GPT is coming. And what is Claire GPT? Claire GPT is, first and foremost, cool, right? What it is, it's a metadata system of record where we store information on the data assets in your organization. Remember what I said earlier, Informatica is not about data analytics and AI with respect to what you're doing over on the Azure platform. We're about data management. And what we're doing with Claire GPT, what we're doing with Claire Copilot that we've announced, is we're working to help create improved experiences for your data management, right? So that as you're going through and you're working together with Claire, you know, you're with Claire GPT, you're working with a metadata system record that understands your technical, your business, and your operational metadata in one structure. It's something which allows you to have a natural language conversation about your data itself, right? So let's say you're a business user, right? Your business user could ask something like, "Hey, where is my customer churn report?" Right? Or who owns it? How do I get access to it? Right? These are not things that you're taking from the data. This is things that you're asking about your data, right?
In natural
Like
language, I may add. I think you
in
said
natural
that.
language.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I should probably mention that, right? And also, right, you know, if you're a data analyst, right, your data analyst can take a look at a KPI dashboard, right? And man, that they've got on the screen, they can say, hey, for this sales KPI dashboard, where is this data coming from? Who touches this data? And because Informatica captures all that detailed lineage all the way through, right? We understand who the stakeholders are. We understand what your business terms are. We can give you that information back, which allows you to be more intelligent about how you're using those assets. I'm sorry, I'm talking very fast because I kind of get excited about it because it's really, really cool.
And rightfully you should be. Yeah.
And you asked, hey, how do I get my hands on it? You can go over to informatica.com. You know, we of course have our preview program signed up, and I encourage anybody who happens to be in the area in Las Vegas, May 20th through 23rd, come to Informatica World and come see the latest information we have to share about all kinds of things we're doing, including Claire GPT and Copilot.
Date again, Jason? What's the date?
May 20th through 23rd.
Thank you. All right. So, you know, again, exciting times for you guys, exciting time for us as a partner. We feel that this is a game changer. As somebody said a long time ago, English is the new sequel, right? So if you know what questions to ask, it doesn't matter if you know a programming language or not. These kind of GPT assistants are going to help you. So in terms of strategic direction of where you're heading with all of this, Jason, whatever you can share, maybe a 30 seconds of what that looks like.
Yes, or maybe 48 seconds. You know, what we've been doing for the last several years is building great, exceptional experiences for our customers when you're working with IDMC and the Intelligent Data Management Cloud into Azure. What we've been announcing for the last year and what we've been working on is our outstanding experiences inside of Azure. I'm going to give you a quick shout out on two of them. One, last year at Informatica World, Julia Lucen, you know, the president of Microsoft's developer division, was on stage with our CEO, where she announced that Informatica is going to be available as an Azure native ISV service, which effectively means that we are working together with Microsoft engineering teams to bring management of Informatica's products into the Azure Management Console, making it easy for your technical stakeholders to be able to manage their Informatica footprint from within without ever leaving the Azure Management Console. What's also cool is since we have access to these engineering teams, is we're creating differentiated experiences, such as bringing advanced serverless compute into the IDMC platform on our Azure SaaS platform, which is only possible because we're working together with the networking teams and the Azure teams over on the Microsoft side to open up on the Microsoft side of the firewall, the VNet connections that allow us to be able to actually bring this service out to our customers. And then over on the Fabric side, we'll talk later about what you can have today, but we announced at Ignite last November, we showcased heavily at the Fabric conference last week, the fact that as a design partner with Microsoft for Fabric since 2021, we were their data management ISV, we've been working to bring our IDMC capabilities into the Fabric experience, reimagining how a Fabric user would want to use our data management capabilities. And our first one we're starting with is data quality. And what we are now showcasing, and we will be soon, we're signing people up right now for the preview, but we will soon be unleashing the ability to do data profiling, data quality, and use of NLP, natural language, in order to bring these quality profiling, quality, and remediation capabilities into Fabric itself without ever having to leave it. It's really, really cool. So that's what we're doing right now. How do we bring it into Azure itself?
These are some amazing things. So again, please check Informatica out online, or if y'all are going to the Informatica world, we'll be there as well. Feel free to reach out to us or anybody in the Informatica team. JD, those are all the things I've got going on. Back to you, buddy.
Fantastic. So I do have to do a shameless plug here. Check out our marketplace solutions in Microsoft, where you can see the power of 3 at play. You can see our industry solution with bringing to bear the power of Microsoft Fabric and IDMC on Azure. So please check those out. Surely it would be interesting. Deepak, before I hand it over to Jason, because I know you've got some questions there. Jason, anything that you want to add on to this wonderful conversation? Deepak?
So, yeah, I think what Jason just mentioned, I'm going to double click and talk about the experience, right? And correct me, Jason, if this is the experience you spoke about. So if I am a user of Azure, I go to the portal, just like I spin up a VM, I'm able to control a or a Informatica ISV, or log into Informatica Cloud. Now, earlier I had to go with a VM and use it for compute. Now I'm able to even do the serverless. So these are absolutely phenomenal for users. I'm telling you, the experience is great. I have checked it out myself. It's just absolutely great.
Hey, thanks, Deepak. And I might even add on there that our public preview for the advanced serverless capabilities is going live here in April. So we're very excited to be unleashing it on the masses as well. So thank you very much for the handoff there.
Fantastic. Jason, I know you got a couple of questions, so why don't you take it away, buddy?
Thank you. Actually, I want to continue building where we actually left off, right, with Arvind, right? This whole concept of the power of 3, right? One of the things that y'all have been telling me about, and I've been hearing about in our conversations, right, is that Paradigm itself is building an analytics specific accelerator that you're going to be launching soon. I've talked about some of the things we're doing. Can you tell me just a little bit more about what you're bringing to market here in the very near future?
Absolutely, Jason, and thank you. So essentially, as your logo says behind you, where data and AI comes to life, your goal is data and AI coming to life. And our goal is those solutions that use data and AI coming to life. So as a part of that, what we've put together, and JD, if you want to share your screen real quick, the goal is this, right? Long time we've been working on multiple, well, let me take a step back. Paradigm has a long, rich history of working with manufacturing, retail, CPG, and BFSI, banking and financial services. That is our bread and butter. That is our history, right? We have done every aspect of data management like you've covered, right? Be it master data, data quality, data cataloging, and then on the BI side, analytics, and now the cool kid called GenAI or AI. We've done all of these bits and pieces of this. So we wanted to put it all together and use the power of 3 in Informatica, IDMC, and Microsoft Fabric. And we wanted to build an end-to-end solution that is servicing a particular domain. The domain could be banking and financial services or manufacturing, right? And the goal is the underlying data model, information meta model, that is the center of this universe, what you see in the screen. That's what we're really good at, right? So what essentially we did was we said, look, we've worked with rental teams, customer segmentation use cases, inventory planning, parts, order management, finances, right? We worked in, of course, regulatory compliance, We worked in all these use cases. And in these use cases comes a master data management, comes a bunch of data quality business and data rules, what we apply, comes a bunch of curated data and a strong conceptual logical information model that allows you to explore the use cases. Comes generative AI, as you said, the Q&A bot, right? Or the agent that asks simple questions, the power of Claire GPT as an example. And then to keep it all simple, you use your own communication tool like a Microsoft Teams or a Zoom, right? Or Slack. Whatever your communication methodology, how can I now start talking to data? That's the underlying theme behind this. And we call it M-Insight. The goal is it starts with the right-hand side of this architecture, which is what are the key KPIs for that particular domain we are in? And what are the reports, dashboards, and the GenAI agents we need to build? Go backward from there, understand the information model that supports those KPIs. Go backward from there, and then understand the type of data that is needed to support that information model. And then obviously with that comes the master data management, customer, supplier, product, and so on. And last but certainly not the least, a strong end-to-end integration capability that allows your data to move from point A to point B to point C in this architecture, but also has strong auditability. In other words, lineage, right? That shows where the data is coming from, where the data is going, and how it's getting used. Deepak, is there something I missed? Do you want to add something here?
I think this is what our customers are asking, right? I have discussed with a lot of CIOs and the top level leadership. I think what they want is a enabler to get data quickly, discover the data, get the data quickly, have the quality, have the profiling, have the governance across the board, have the data security also enabled. And looking at this architecture, this has everything. This has the power of Azure platform, it has the power of Informatica IDMC, and it has the power of Paradigm's solution, which can bring everything together. I think this is just absolutely phenomenal, and it is addressing the real pain points our IT leaders are looking to solve for these days.
Yeah.
Hey, I think a great answer, and quite frankly, a very attractive architecture slide. I really like it. You know, to Deepak, as you just mentioned, right? There's a lot of Microsoft technologies in here, a lot of Informatica technologies in here. You know, I'm seeing SQL, I'm seeing Synapse Data Warehousing, I'm seeing Power BI, all of which is setting you up very nicely for Fabric in the post-GA world, right? I'm seeing Informatica data marketplaces and master data management and data quality. You know, Arvind, you know, putting all this together, was there any benefits you received from your partnerships with Informatica, with Microsoft? You know, did that accelerate this for you at all?
Oh, absolutely. So, you know, thank you. That's a great question. Honestly, Informatica has been a phenomenal partner for us in this journey. Not only did they allow us to use a sandbox capability that let us build all these as a demoable thing, right? A reality, an architecture comes to reality, if you will. But Informatica and us also closely work with Microsoft, where, you know, the Fabric capability is now what they call as, you know, some sort of an investment funding. Microsoft calls it enterprise customer investment funding. So this architecture, or bits and pieces of it, are capable of going through that ESIF option as well. So I think we have, the three of us, Microsoft, Informatica, and us, Paradigm, we've been working very closely all along with your product managers, Jason, and Microsoft's product managers as well. Because a lot of these are newer to the world, right? The SQL has been there in existence, but something like Claire GPT or something like a Fabric is not there for decades. So we've learned a lot from both of your teams, allowed us to accelerate, and it also allowed us to build best practices along the way.
Excellent. And I do want to just echo back, just the one thing I do appreciate very much the partnership that Paradigm has had with Informatica, right? It's great to have those feedbacks in with product and the relationship that you have with our account teams to make sure that we're bringing those really exceptional outcomes to our customers. Very much appreciate it.
Feeling is mutual. Feeling is mutual.
You know, I realize though I probably should not grill you without saying something about, hey, are you doing anything with Gen AI? Because I feel like it's a hot topic these days. How does Gen AI play into this whole scenario here?
So I think you said it right. Let's take a simple example. I'm a marketing manager and I want to put together a campaign, a digital marketing campaign for a segment of my customers. Well, if this was 20 years ago, this one simple use case could have taken 5 to 6 months to build. If this was 5 years ago, you would hire a college graduate data scientist and ask them to build complicated segmentation models that you, the marketing manager, have no idea how it works. If this was a year ago, you would use the power of analytics, yet you will not be able to build that hyper-personalization that you want to build within your digital marketing. If this is now, you would go to Gen AI prompt and you would ask a question, can you please build me a segmentation of all the different customers? And oh, by the way, use the parameters including gender, region, and some other buying pattern, right? What this agent would do is it's trained to look at structured and unstructured data. So all the campaigns, all the marketing materials that you put together, all the master data that you have, all the data you have in your warehouse, our agent is trained to go and look into all those data structures. Again, structured, unstructured, semi-structured, doesn't matter. All it's giving back to you is a thought process, a clarity on you trying to launch a particular digital marketing campaign on a particular topic. Who are your segments? What segment of the population you want to target? All of this happens in minutes, right? So now as a marketing manager, you're focusing on what you need to do, which is putting together an effective campaign, right? Apply the same logic, Jason, for an inventory optimization. The guy who's sitting in the shop floor who's trying to order 15 bottles of milk, that guy can talk to this agent now in his mobile phone, right? And ask these kind of simple questions, whether regarding SKUs, stocking, and warehousing, which warehouse has gallons of milk. All of these are available literally in your fingertips. And our goal is over time, use the voice activation as well, which we're not there yet, but essentially you can now talk to the agent and the agent will do all the searching for you and recommend something that is very personal to your use case. That's how, we see an agent fitting into this architecture.
Very cool. Very cool. Thank you for walking me through that. I think that's got to be a very, very exciting set of outcomes for your customers. I can't wait to see us do more and more with this.
Exciting times, man. Very exciting times. And again, a lot of what I talked about, I'm pretty sure y'all have it in Claire GPT as well, semblances of that. So I'm also looking to play with it a little bit and see what's happening behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Great stuff, guys. Great stuff. Exciting times. Love the partnership. Love the power of three and everything that we've shared so far. I think we got a couple of QA questions. I think we're about that time now. So this one's interesting. So the manufacturing problem, I know we've been talking about Insights and this solution that's been specifically designed for the manufacturing industry, right? So how can Paradigm and Informatica help? So let's start with you, Jason.
If I think back to probably where our conversation started this morning, I believe it was Arvin that talked about just the criticality of data security, right? I look at some of our recent manufacturing customers who've gone public, right? Now, Rolls-Royce was one. They had a fantastic architectural webinar a few months back. And what they talked about was some of the work that they've been doing to try to get a handle on their environment, right? Stop me if this sounds familiar. Multiple data silos, customers that, areas where data is confidential, but in some cases it's not confidential and you can't mix those two, even though it's the same exact data, but a different SKU number. Lack of trust in data. This is what they were working with. And what they came through and what they talk about on this webinar is the fact that they built from the ground up. They just said, stop. We're going to stop throwing solutions IT bought in the past at a problem and hope that it sticks. We're going to come back and we're going to redesign. And what they came up with was this whole platform where this whole program for this customer data program, where they were able, civil data program, sorry, where they identified the people who would actually be in charge of this, who would actually be invested in it, the processes that they needed to put in place. And then they looked at the tooling that would be responsible for meeting the requirements. not of whatever, not from what they had, but from what these people were identifying, right? And this is something that we're telling all of our customers in manufacturing, right? Hey, as you're dealing with these issues where you're caught by legacy, where you're caught by silos, where you're caught by past investments, just stop. Take a breath, take a look at what you're trying to accomplish, come back in and start bringing us in. And when you do that, it allows you to come through and say, okay, do we have the right security levels in place? Do we have the right data stakeholders in place? Do we have the right data quality in place? Do we have the right mechanisms going on to make sure that that quality stays where it is so that everybody ends up trusting the data coming through, trusting that it's tagged correctly, so that everybody trusts that they're going to be able to keep their jobs after they run that report. And that's what I would just kind of throw back out here to everybody here is just that's one example of just stopping, getting your enterprise data governance in place, make sure it aligns with your data security strategy, and make sure that you've got the right consulting companies in place that can help you to figure out what that people process aspect is, so that you can bring in one killer set of technology solutions from Informatica.
Right. Well put. Deepak, your thoughts?
I think what we just talked about, the example Jason just gave is Rolls-Royce, but I think when we look at across the board, many of organizations will have very similar problems, very, very similar. For example, in addition to what Jason mentioned, whether the data is PII, which is private versus public, whether it's coming from internet, whether the part of the data is coming from internet but is a company data. How do you, when someone asks for an information, just a simple information within the company, right? Where is my supply chain? Where is the pain in the supply chain, right? Which address, which supplier did not send the part to the address, right? So understanding where the address is not updated, it's a huge task if this automation is not there, right? With simple Copilot, we have Clear GPT, which is the GPT part where you can talk to Clear about, give me the problem, right? It goes and picks the Clear Copilot, and then it works with Azure Copilot, and collectively, with the right data, it's able to give all the information within maybe seconds at this point.
Right. Arvind, anything you want to add on to that?
See, I think what I'm amazed to go into the future is the strength of humanity is the analytical capability to think out of the box, right? The strength of the software products here, all right, Microsoft and Informatica, is the power of low-code, no-code, and the ability to speak in English, ask questions in English, right? The strength of a consultant like us is bringing that domain expertise, right? Like we talked about, start with the KPIs, start with what matters for that industry, for that particular client, and then go backwards to all the processes that allows you to get there. And then go backwards from there and look at the technology and say, do these technologies do the job that delivers those results to you, right? That's how we see the world as a consultant, from right to left, if you will. So when you combine all of these together, right, you look at something as simple as employee labor productivity. One of our clients had market double-digit increase in their employee productivity with the power of Microsoft and Informatica. That's just one simple example. Yet, it all started with a manager of shop floor asking us, how productive are my employees? A machine could never come up with those creative things. A machine can answer those things. So I feel that the power of the technology, the consultant, and the human ingenuity is what is going to put this all together. And I'm looking for a very exciting future, man.
Nice. Well, and on that thought, what are the integrations with Fabric, Arvind?
So when we talk about integrations, right, essentially you look at some of the examples that Jason gave earlier. You've got data quality now locally running or natively running as an ISV service. You will have catalog that is tightly integrated, or data catalog, right, that is tightly integrated with Azure Fabric. Then you have the C360, S360, the master data management suite that Informatica offers that can now integrate with all of the Fabric. So at the end of the day, everything that Informatica offers could be either integrated to Fabric or run as a native ISV service. Again, the power of low code, no code. Now, when you think about the power of data management, power of analytics, and the power of AI all coming together, you don't need to leave these two stacks, these two technologies. Everything happens here. And then you just need to think about the use cases that you want to deliver between these three integrations. Correct me if I'm wrong, Deepak and Jason, please.
No, I would agree with you there, and that's just one of the things that, you know, I didn't go to. Yeah, I talked about what we're doing to bring great innovation in the future, right? But you know what we're doing right now, you know, is you know we've already put out our connectors, right? That go into OneLake, that go into Lakehouse, that go into Data Warehouse. So whichever of those 3 entry points you have for Fabric, we're already able to drive ingestion, mass ingestion, data quality, data profiling. It's already there, right? We've got our our Fabric scanners, you know, that have launched. They're available to enable some of our data governance, and quite frankly, we're working together with Microsoft engineering teams, sharing with them some ways that they can enhance those APIs and SDKs so that we can even get more information out, right, and pull it into our systems. So all of that is there today, which then enables the capabilities of great partners such as yourself, who are then trying to take those capabilities and moving them forward yourself, on top of all the integrations we already have with Cosmos DB and with Power BI and with ADLS Gen 2 and Synapse and everything else under the sun, with those 300 source connectors that we've got.
Nice. Deepak, anything you want to add?
I think I could just sum it up by saying that, look, this has been exciting. I would say possibilities are just limitless, literally limitless. With power of Informatica, integrated platform with all the AI and ML intelligence it provides, with the power of the Azure infrastructure and the AI capabilities, and our deep tech and then deep solution building practice, I think the possibilities are just limitless.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Deepak. We do have one mystery guest that will do the closing arguments. With that, I'll hand it over to our Chief Operating Officer, Chris Gately. Go ahead, take it away, Chris.
Thanks, JD, and thanks, Jason, for joining us. It's been a great discussion. Thank you, Arvind. Thank you, Deepak. Folks, if you'd like to learn more, whether that's about Claire GPT or Informatica's integration with Fabric and data quality, please reach out to either join us at the Informatica World on May 20th to 23rd in Las Vegas at Mandalay Bay. It would be great to see you there, and please reach out to us ahead of time so we can schedule some time to dig into those topics and discuss them, or reach out to Informatica's website as well, where there's a lot of great data. If you want to learn more about Insights, please just contact us directly. We can dig into that. But really, the core of the whole discussion is really that power of three. How is Informatica, Microsoft, and Paradigm coming together for you? And if you'd like to learn more about that, please reach out to either myself or via our website to dig into. We can do a half-day workshop, which has been really effective for many of our clients to really identify what the value is and how to actually execute that value within an organization. Or we can provide you with a business value assessment to help you understand what is the business value that will be driven by this power of three and the three of us. And lastly, there's great ways to fund these things. We're fortunate enough to be an ESIF partner with Microsoft, where they do help fund things such as your execution and growth of your data and your data platform. And also we can work with with Informatica on that as well. So a lot of great opportunities to learn more, to do more, and to bring more value to your organizations. And again, thank you all. Thank you, JD, for putting this together and leading the discussion. As Arvind said, English is really the new SQL, right? This topic is going to continue to drive forward. We're going to continue to learn more, and we're really excited to be partnered with Informatica and Microsoft to really drive this forward. So again, thank you, Jason. Thank you, Arvind. Thank you, Deepak.
Thank you to all.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.